Hi Libra, this is your reading for the week of January 25th, or when you hear it and it resonates. I've asked for 3 key cards, and this is what I have for you, my dears. First, I want to start with what they're saying about what Spirit is saying about what they would like me to focus on, and that is the last card, and that is it's a new day. Libra, what I'm feeling as I'm looking at these cards is this is now a transitional point for you in which you get to leave behind hurting yourself with your thoughts, with your repeated thoughts. That this is now a time where you are finally learning what it means to be kind to yourself. Not just from a feeling place, although that's essential for you, but from an action place. So what they're saying to me now is this. I'm going to read you the pain card first, and then I'm going to do this explanation. Historically, pain was associated with penalty and punishment for some misdeed. It grew into meaning unpleasant sensation. It grew from there into being associated with diligent effort, such as she takes great pains to look good. Do you inadvertently punish yourself with pain? Do you think you're diligent, hardworking, productive, or loyal only if it hurts? And that's the thing, is sometimes we don't realize that we are the ones that are perpetuating our pain. So why do we do that? Well, there's got to be a good reason for it. Otherwise, we wouldn't keep doing it. So there's a biological reason. Well, there's a loop. There's an addiction to the chemicals that come from that repeated mental loop. And so we can just feel very inclined at a subconscious level to perpetuate those thoughts and those patterns. But there's also a belief sometimes that if we try hard enough, things are going to work out. Things are going to be good. We will feel good. We will feel okay in this situation because finally everybody else will be good and therefore we will be able to relax. Libras, what they're saying is this. When you are continuing to fret, and it's interesting because I'm getting that word fret. It's a very old word for me, like to fret about something, to worry, to wonder, to keep going over it. This is where you create agitation in your nervous system. This is where you actually are creating resistance around something that hasn't even happened yet, but you're going into, every time you think of it like this, every time you start really analyzing what you should do, how you should do it, what's going to be the best approach, there's a certain amount of drag that you carry with you because you're looking for an out. You're pushing against ideas. This will work, that won't work, that won't work. Maybe the whole thing won't work, but you're creating resistance in your mind to a situation that may not even exist. It may not exist yet, or it may never exist. But it's that quality of overthinking and feeling as though you have to do everything right, which sometimes stops you from doing anything. And then you feel bad because it's taken you a long time to get around to doing something you knew you should. Can you find yourself the ability to be kind to you? So in this case, it's like, just instead of worrying about being right and doing things right, can you in this moment say, what would be kind? What would be kind to me? If this were somebody I loved dearly, would I want them to be thinking this way? Would I want them to be feeling this way? Would I want them to be trying to manage their life this way in this instant? Just make it in this instant. And if you can in that moment say, no, I wouldn't do that to a friend, then you question, why is it okay for you to do it to you? Can you in that moment offer the same degree of kindness? It may look a little different in how it shows up to a friend versus you, but can you allow yourself the same degree of kindness? Can you just get curious about something rather than critical in terms of how you behave, not about the situation? You're curious enough about a lot of things. And then you just get very confused. So in this moment, can you be curious about why you're doing that? Why you're continuing to think that way? As a way to step out of it and observe it. Because doing that now gives you a different relationship to not just that event, but to that style of thinking. Okay? What you're being told is it's a new day. I feel like this is really letting you know this is your opportunity. Not that there won't be many, but that now we're in a period of change and you can look at this and you can say, if I decide that being kind is good, that I don't need to be in pain in order to be honorable or loyal or eventually the person that I want to be or think I should be, if I can just allow myself to be kind, that's what I'm really getting. That's when you start seeing a new day. It's kindness to yourself, which doesn't mean you abdicate responsibility, which doesn't mean you don't honor values and things of that nature. In fact, what it means is that the more you are in that kind state with yourself, the more inclined you are going to be kind with other people in a genuine way, in a heartfelt way, rather than a performative, I must take care of way in order to stay safe way. Okay? This is where, in a kind state, in a relaxed kind state, you are going to be very much more aligned in your heart with real deeper values that you actually are looking for, but haven't quite necessarily figured out how to really integrate into your life in a really complete way where you get to relax and be peaceful with it. So for those of you who've already started this work, and listen, this is not something that's just about you, right? This is something that all of us can do. Pain and love, I find very often are so confused in people because so much of our early experience of loving was painful to us, whether it was deliberate neglect or whether or not it was just having parents who couldn't do any better than they did, people who came out of traumatic situations that they hadn't healed or whatever in terms of their culture, their background that brought them into relationship with you in a way where maybe you couldn't get what you needed, right? So it's all just looking at it from a different angle and lightening it up in a way where you let yourself talk to yourself in ways that are kind, that are supportive of change, that are very much about being willing to give up pain as a value. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Libras. Take good care.